This Lunch and Learn is brought to you by The Candy Factory, a co-working and social club here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Visit coworkinglanc.com for membership details and to schedule a tour.
So my name is Woody Adams. I am a poker player. I learned to play in the underground scene in New York City. It was not easy, and I learned a lot of very valuable lessons pretty quickly. But I got really sincere about the game in Los Angeles when I went out and started playing at the casinos. Today we're going to learn about some hand selection or hand ranges, an introduction to game theory, and where to play for free. Okay, so when you're playing poker, you want to be able to have a good, strong understanding of hand ranges, which we're going to talk about today. You want to learn about power of position, betting strategies, counting outs, and some quick poker math. Before we get started, RecPoker has been a really influential part of my own development. They have a podcast, they do coaching, they've got strategy articles, and biggest of all, it's a strong sense of community with RecPoker. You can learn more about that with me. Okay, the first order of business, we're going to be playing a toy game. So this toy game is called Stay or Fold. Basically, you do just that. Everybody gets one card dealt face down, and the purpose of this game is to teach you kind of about position in poker. So we're going to use the button here on my friend Seth, right?
What?
Sorry, AJ.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. AJ. Okay, so the button is on AJ, and everybody gets one card. Could you please pass this down? And please pass that down. And this goes to Shad.
No.
Yeah, that goes to Shad.
Oh, don't look at
Okay, just leave it. Leave it exposed. Leave it exposed. That goes to Austin. This goes to Georgie. This goes to Seth. And Colin. And okay, Zach. There's a Seth in here. There's a Seth in here.
We're all Seth and tweet by out.
All right, guys. So so to illustrate kind of what position is like, you're going to be first to act here. So you need to make a decision if you want to stay. If you think yes, you look at your card. You want to make a decision if you want to stay, if you think you've got the highest card, and you can fold if you think you don't. So go ahead. Okay, stay or fold.
Stay.
Okay, stay or fold. Okay, go ahead and put it in the middle. Stay or fold with the 7 of spades. Okay, folds. Stay or fold, Austin.
I wish I had that.
No, you're not supposed to put it up like that. yeah. Okay, so that's a faux pas.
You lose a chip.
Georgie, stay or fold? Stay. Okay, stay or fold? Stay or fold. Okay, so now we're going to expose our codes in just a second here, but I just want to illustrate that, like, my friend here did not have any information about Seth. My friend Seth did not have any information. I'm sorry, I don't need your name. Jen. Didn't have any information before she made her first decision, whether she's going to stay or fold, but these players did. Let's see how the cards turn out. Go ahead and expose your hand.
Bam.
Jack.
Oh. Right.
Georgie, I believe you're the next. Jack. Oh!
Drama.
Zach. Ace. And Colin. A jack. Wow, so there's 3 jacks out there, and the ace would take the pot. So the point of this little toy game is to illustrate that when you have position on other players, you can gain more information about what they have. Understanding understanding how players act before you make your decision can help you play better cards. The later your position, the more information you've got. So this is kind of the point, the position. Now, we're going to get into the mechanics of the game a little bit later. So if anybody does have questions about how does this even relate to poker, we're going to look at the mechanics of the game. But because we have a short period of time, I wanted to kind of outline a few winning strategies, like theoretical strategies, before we get into actually playing more cards. So, No Limit Hold'em is the game that we're going to be playing today. It's been said that it's the Cadillac of poker. That was by Doyle Brunson. Doyle Brunson is a legendary poker player who everybody loves dearly. Okay, No Limit Hold'em. So, mechanics of this game. 2 big blinds are put out in the middle, starting to the left of the dealer. Those 2 bets are there to start the action. The small blind and the big blind shift around the table with each new hand. And in tournament poker, the blinds go up incrementally. Okay. Oh, so here we go. The way that the way that the cards go out is everybody gets 2 cards, and then the person who's immediately left of the big blind acts first, and they have an option, and then it progresses clockwise. So each person has an option to do one of 3 things. They can either, I forgot. The objective of the game, guys. Yeah, the objective of the game is to make the best poker hand using your 2 cards and the community cards, and we'll get into the mechanics of that a little bit later. But again, let's talk like higher level kind of theoretical. How do you win this game? Okay, so you got 3 decisions that you can make. You could either call, you could raise, or you could fold. Calling is matching the big bet, raising is increasing the bet size, and folding is surrendering the hand. So it's really important to have a good understanding of hand selection in No Limit Hold'em. In a nutshell, we're going to be playing pairs, suited aces, suited Broadway, and suited connectors. So what's that mean? So pairs are strong in Hold'em because they make sets, and sets get stacks. That's a good thing. So pairs are higher the pair, the stronger it is. And then you've got to be aware that you don't overvalue your 1 pair hands. We're going to move into the next thing here, a suited ace. A suited ace is when you've got, say, an ace of diamonds and like the 10 of diamonds, right? Suited aces make flushes frequently, the highest flush, which is a strong hand. It's hard to make, and a flush is 5 of the same suit. Suited Broadway. Broadway is just a term that we use to describe that highest straight, 10 to the ace. So if you're playing those high cards, you're going to be making high pairs, sometimes 2 pair or better. Suited connectors. So suited connectors are 2 cards that are suited and connected. They can make straights. They can make flushes. These are strong hands. When you have a strong hand, you're going to want to bet it. These suited connectors also make profitable bluffing lines. That's going to be a little bit more advanced that we get into today. But believe me when I say that if you're playing the 9-10 of spades, you got good odds. All right, so the hands that you choose to play, they're referred to as your hand range. Your hand range should vary based on your position at the table and the action ahead of you. Play a tighter range in early position and a wider range in late position. Play this way to minimize your risk and to capitalize on your position. So when I say play a tighter range in early position, that means that when you're first to act or second to act and the pressure's on, right? You got to decide, well, what should I play? Well, you ought to think, man, I got all these other players around me. They might have better cards than me. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play only my premium hands. I'm going to play strong aces. I'm going to play big pairs like that, right? That's a tight range. But when you're in late position and you've already seen other people act, then you have a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more give with what you can choose to play. Because there may not be anybody else that has good cards, and it comes to you and you have Jack 8. Okay, let's get in there. Let's try it out, right? Because you have a little bit more play when you have late position. Okay, so let's get into some no-limit holding betting strategies. There are really only 2 reasons to put chips into the pot. They are to get a worse hand to call, get a better hand to fold, okay? So when you're playing cards, the question always comes back down to that. You want to recognize that aggression pays in poker. Be the aggressor, control the hand, bet like you mean it, and be prepared to fold. Yeah, no joke. So you ought to go into this like swinging. Like if you're a boxer, you ought to be like ready for that right hook, but you better be ready to duck too. Okay? So when you're winning betting strategies, there are no set and fast rules, right? But there are some strong recommendations. So the first thing that I would recommend that you do when you're betting pre-flop is raise the blind 2 to 3 times, right? So if the blind is 100, 200, then you would be wanting to raise it to 500 or 550 or 600, right? Don't go too small, but don't go too big either. When facing a bet, you can call, you can raise, or you can fold. We sort of touched on that. If you choose to raise, go big. Let them know, I got a hand here and I'm ready to fight for it. So 3.5 times whatever the bet was. So if somebody bet 500 and you want to re-raise that, you're looking at putting 15, 16, 1700 in the middle. Yeah, we got a question with Will.
If you re-raise to all in, is that usually like because you're running out of chips, or?
That's a really good question. So we're going to talk a little bit about the all-in bet a little bit later on once we get through the mechanics. All right, so we play aggressively. We give ourselves 2 different ways to win the pot. We can make it. We can actually make the best hand. Wow. Or we can just get everybody else to fold. So playing aggressively has 2 ways to win the pot. I'm going to say that again. It has 2 ways to win when you play aggressively. Okay. Mechanics of the game. Just everyone, but always cut the cards. This is from Benny Binion, a legendary tournament director in Las Vegas. Okay, so the mechanics of the game. So 2 big blinds are made. Then the dealer gives out 2 cards to each player. A round of betting begins from the player left of the big blind. They choose to call, fold, or raise, right? After that round of betting, the remaining players will see the flop. Those are the first 3 community cards. After the flop, another round of betting occurs. Another card comes out called the turn. That's the 4th community card. So another round of betting occurs. After that round of betting, any remaining players will see the 5th community card, which is called the river. So there's the flop, there's the turn, and there's the river. If the hand does go to showdown, that means that both players or multiple players are in the pot at the end. Then the player with the highest poker hand will win the pot. Okay, so that begets the question, what's a high poker hand? Alrighty, so that is your kind of cheat sheet for the day here. Okay, yeah, take a picture of that, save it on your phone. That's what you're trying to like realize in this game of poker. You're trying to get flushes and straights and 3 of a kind, hands that beat other hands. So this goes the highest hand that you can make, royal flush, straight flush, and then it goes 4 of a kind, full house, flush, straight, and then down here 3 of a kind, 2 pair, 1 pair, and high hand. Now, as the game progresses, you will see that some players are able to make more money using their value hands, and other players are able to make more money with their bluffs. But your best bet to win this game is to stick with those starting ranges that I had outlined before: pairs, suited aces, suited connectors, suited broadways. So why don't we take a few minutes now? Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead, Ruby.
I just want to clarify. Suited means like it's the same.
The same pip. It's like the club and another club. Yeah. Yeah. What's up?
Just to clarify for hold on, it's the 2 hands you have, or the 2
cards
in your hand, and the 5 that are on the table. That you pick the 5 best ones benefiting you to make up those hands.
You got it. That's pretty much exactly the way that you play the game, right there. So you have 2 cards that you can use. You don't necessarily have to use both of them, but you got to use one of them, right? And then you got the 5 cards that are out there. So you got to make the best poker hand that you can using those 5 poker card hand using those 7 cards. So shift those cards back down to me. We'll do a quick shuffle, and then we'll play a quick round. So the button is going to move. Button moves to here. Everybody has some chips. The value of these chips are, 1 is white, 5 is red, 10 is blue. So everybody has some chips. Everybody's got the equal amount of chips. It doesn't really matter how many everybody has. It's all equal.
All right, everyone, give me your chips. It won't be a problem.
All right. All right, so let's go ahead and get these going. Can you shift that down? This goes to Ruby. This goes to Shot. That goes to Shot. This goes to Austin. Georgie.
I'm not
Nice thing to do this time.
Okay. All right, so that's the first card. And we go, everybody gets 2 cards this hand. That goes to Ruby. This goes to Shad. This goes to Austin. This goes to Georgie. Zach. Colin. AJ. And Josh. Okay, so everybody has 2 cards now. Oh, I forgot the small blind and the big blind. Jen, could you please put 1 white chip out? That indicates the small blind, and then could you put 2 white chips out?
You're in big trouble, Ruby.
That would be the big blind. Okay. So the blinds have been set. Everybody's got 2 cards. Now it's time to play some cards. Okay. So Shad, you're the first person to act here, buddy. You got to make a decision. Do you want to call, you want to raise, or do you want to fold?
Call.
Okay, so if you want to call, put 2 chips out. All right, Austin, you have a decision?
Whoa.
Ah, alrighty, Austin getting saucy. Okay, so he put out a total bet of $7. So George, would you like to come along? You can call for $7. You can raise for 14 or 15 or however much you want, or you can fold. But you have to make a decision. Those are the 3 options.
He's not gonna
You gonna call it?
He sees
All right.
through you, Austin.
Yeah, he does.
better not.
All right, that's a fold here.
I'll call.
All right, that's $7 to call. Action on AJ.
Fold.
Okay, mucks it. Oops. All right.
This is when you say things like too rich for my blood.
Yeah, that's right to say that.
Yeah.
And so it would be just 6 to you because you have 1 in, and it would be 7 to you, Ruby. If you'd like to come along, you could raise or 5 to you. You could come along, raise or fold. Okay, so we have a pot here. All right. Could you do me a favor? Just put that all together, kind of like shuffle it. That's what we're playing for right now. That's the pot, right? So really quickly, just to pause for the sake of instruction. So we have a pot here that was limped. Oh wait, did you call yet, bro? You got to put. You got to put that 5 more in. Yeah. Okay. So you're in. So we got a pot that was limped. That means that Shad called or limped into the pot, and then Austin raised the pot. No, it's not because it's not really a good play. It's like, but the reason that's not a good play is because it allows somebody else to come into the pot for a very cheap price. Okay. So when Austin raised, that was an aggressive play. Georgie did the thing that like happens all the time in casinos where he calls, and then that creates like a waterfall effect where everybody else is like, "Oh, come along, it's a $5 more," and they just pop another nickel in there, and what you end up getting is a massive pot for a very small price. That means that there's a lot of variety of hands that are out here right now. Okay, so what's going to happen on the flop is we're going to, first person, the button is here. So Jen's going to be the first person to act. So we're going to lay out the flop, and then Jen's going to make a decision. You can either check or she can bet, okay? So let's go ahead and give this a shot. So we burn 1. That's just the logistics of it. And then you take 3 cards out off the top like this, and you turn them over and you spread them out like that. I'll put them up here towards the thanks, but it helps. So it's a 4, 5, 8 rainbow. You say rainbow when it's all different suits, and I think that's one of the coolest words in poker. Okay, so go ahead.
You're trying to like imagine those.
That's right. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to imagine how does this collection of cards, how does that integrate with what I'm holding? Okay. So then now Jen, you got a decision to make. You could either check or you could bet, which would be either $2 or more.
Gotcha. I'm gonna bet.
Okay.
Whoa.
Betting $6. Keep it like right in front of you so it doesn't get mixed up with the pot. Okay, Ruby, you have the actions on you. You could call $6, you could raise, or you could fold. Remember, what you're trying to do is you're trying to make hands that interact with the board. And if you don't have any piece of it, it's okay to fold. You save money.
Knowing that 2 more will come in.
2 more cards do come out. That's right. You got to pay for them though.
Right.
Okay, I'll call it.
Okay, she's calling the 6. Shad?
I'm gonna raise another 5.
Okay, so make it because she made it 6, so make it 12 at least. Yeah. Okay. All right. So pause real quick here, Austin, before we make an action. So Shad is saying something here, right? He's saying, "Hey, listen, that 4-5-8 board, I like that. Like that hits me." So then you got to start thinking about what this guy might have, right? Maybe he's got a pair of 8s. Maybe he's got a 7-6 for a straight. Maybe he's got 2 overcards, like a 9-10, and he's drawing, right? You got to start thinking about that right at the time when people start acting. When somebody puts out a bet, you're looking at them and you're saying, like, this guy bet with confidence. How long did they take the bet? What did the hands do? What did his eyes do? You reflect on all of that when you're playing poker. Now, with all that understood, Austin, you got a decision to make. You can either call the $12 bet, raise, or fold.
I'm gonna raise it.
Holy smokes, he's raising. Raising now, folks. Raising now. So you got to go to either 24 or more, buddy. Is that 24?
25.
25. Okay, so the bet is now 25 to Georgie. Georgie, you could either call the bet, you could raise, or literally, no shame in folding, guys. Like, if there is somebody that is betting and saying like, yo, that hit me. And then you got somebody else that's saying like, bro, that hit me harder. I'm going to raise it. And then you're sitting there and you got like Jack 10 right here. Like, you should fold that.
I think
But-
Austin's just trying to buy the pot.
That's a possibility as well. There is a bluff element in poker that we haven't talked about yet. So Austin, you have a decision to make here, buddy. There's a 4-5-8 out there. Or sorry, Georgia, you got a decision to make. You got 4-5-8. You can call the $25 bet. You can raise to 50 or more, or you can fold.
I'm gonna fold.
That's probably a good idea, like long term, bro. Go ahead and put that in the middle. Yeah, that's right. Action comes over to Colin. You can call the $25 bet. You can raise it to 50 or more, or you can fold. Raise announced.
I'm getting nervous.
So that is 50, right? So 50. It was 25 over there.
25.
It's a $25 bet.
Went from $6.
So,
No.
You started.
okay, yeah, interesting situation that Josh has picked up on is that like it started out with like a $6 bet, and that suddenly became 12, 25, 50, and now you're left with a decision here. Pretty easy. He mucks it pretty quickly. Jen, it's back to you. Do you want to call $50, raise, or fold?
Money jump.
I'm gonna call it.
She's calling the 50.
All right, so I could.
So just put out the five blue chips and then take your $6 back. Yeah. All right, Ruby, you got. This is all on a flop. This is all on a very weird flop, on a 4-5-8 flop. If it came like ace, queen, jack or something, you would expect action. But on a 4-5-8, you guys are wild.
I have no idea.
I think I'm gonna call it.
Okay, go ahead and put in the 50 and take your 6 back. And then Shadrach, you've got a decision to make here. Out, he says. Okay, and it back over to Austin.
When do we put more?
Yeah, so after this round of betting, all these chips are going to get collected in the middle. That pot is going to be gigantic.
Oh, I'm so excited.
What was it, 50?
50 it is, sir. So you can put out 50 and take those white and red chips back if you wanted to do that.
Raise it.
Oh my
Raise
God.
announced.
I'm out of chips.
I'm gonna put. You have to.
You would have to put the rest of your chips in the middle. You would have to go.
Sorry.
All right, so point of order. In poker, there is no wishy-washy. In poker, if you say raise, you'd better be ready to raise. If you say fold, you'd better be ready to fold. If you say call, you'd better be ready to call because there's no going back. In poker, you can get in a lot of trouble, like not be able to play in games if you make that mistake.
Or worse, depending on where you're playing.
Right. Yeah, right. Not being able to play in the game is what we'll leave that. Okay, so then essentially, we're on Austin and you decide to call?
Yeah, I'm just gonna call.
All right, buddy. All those chips, we got to put them in the middle. In the middle. That goes in the middle.
I don't want to cross again.
He's the one that raised it to 50.
He would have to go like there's 50, so he would have to go to 100 or more. Yeah. All right, so that pot's gigantic for no reason. Let's see what happens on the turn. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys are crazy. Okay, so we burn one. That's the mechanics of it, and then, boom, ace. Oh my God, an ace from space. Okay, the action begins on Jen. You have an option to check or bet. Okay.
What does that mean?
Check means like you're just gonna
good enough.
forget. You're just gonna be like, you know what? Somebody else can bet at it.
I'll check.
Yeah, it's probably a good play.
I'm out.
Oh, you're folded. Okay, Austin is. He still got his card, but he's checking, and you're out. You're out. You're in. Check, and then we're back. Oh boy. Okay, everybody checked around. Anything can happen on this river, guys. We're gonna burn one, and then river. Oh, it's the jack.
Oh.
Okay, action begins on Jen. You can check. Okay, checking again. Ruby, you can check or you can bet.
I'm gonna check.
Checks it, and it goes around to Austin. You have an option here to bluff or check. I'm sorry, bet or check.
I'll check.
Okay. Colin? All right. So what we have here is we had a lot of action on the flop. And then we had nothing come down on the turn and no action on the river. So what that means is that 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, all 4 hands are exposed. Flip them up. Flip them up. Okay, all right, we gotta read this from the left to right. Okay, the deuce tray, bro, you got a straight Jen.
Does the ace work on either side?
Ace plays high and low. Ace plays high and low. So, dude, that's a really strong hand. So she got the ace, deuce, 3, 4, 5 for the wheel straight. You got the 6 and the 7, but you got the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She flopped the nuts. Okay, Austin, you got the 3 and the 5. Oh, you had the 5 with the open-ender, missed it. 6 and a 7 for the split pot. My friend Colin and my friend Ruby both have the nut straight. Wow, that's a hell of a hand. All right, so basically, nice job, guys. Nice job. That was really well played, everybody. So basically, essentially, that pot would then be split between the players who won that hand. And you would move on to the next hand. The button would move to Jen, and then the deal would go around again.
I would do the small.
You would be the small blind at that point, and Shad would be the big blind at that point.
So how is holding one?
So the game is, you can see that the game can get really intense. Like when that 4, 5, 8 flop came out, I was thinking in my head, nobody's got a piece of that. And then you guys all fooled me like nothing. I would have been felted. I would have been out of the game.
Because of the small blind, do you leave that chip in the pot for the next round?
Nah, that's a good question. If there's an extra chip, it goes to the person closest to the button. That's just the rule.
So Ruby gets a bonus
No.
chip?
Whoever, it goes to the player that was in the hand who is closest to the button. Yeah.
Do I cash
So
out?
this was kind of like the first hand of what you would play in like a tournament. Now, there are two different kind of styles of poker. One is called tournament play and one is called cash play. My specialty is in tournament play. I've been studying the game since, I guess, 2014. And I've been successful online and in live arenas. I do teach coaching. I do coach poker for Rec.Poker. I write articles for RecPoker. I do video content for them. My play is recorded. I'm on podcasts, and all of that is like a passion of mine. So I'm actually really excited that I've had the opportunity to work with everybody here at the Candy Factory to put together such a great lunch and learn production. You guys have really shown up and brought it. So thanks a lot, everybody, for participating in this. Well, we have.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to keep up with everything happening at the Candy Factory, the co-working and social club in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.